Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my NBA DraftKings picks for Tuesday, December 26th. We've got an 8-game slate today on this Tuesday. Feels good to be back into the swing of things, back to uploading daily. I did make a video on the Christmas Day slate, but I didn't upload like any on the weekend. I didn't upload on Saturday. Obviously, I don't upload on Sundays with NFL going on. I made a video for the Christmas Day slate, but now we're back to daily videos, at least Monday through Friday. I'm going to try and start uploading more on Saturdays, especially now that NFL's coming to a close. Going to start uploading a lot more NBA videos since I won't really have to worry about any more NFL content. But yeah, guys, before we get started looking at this slate, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Make sure you subscribe so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new videos. Let's go ahead and look at some point guards today. Looking up top of this position, don't really have a lot of studs on this slate. I was just quickly looking over the slate. Not a lot of studs here. A lot of the studs we normally target, all of them, pretty much all of them played on Christmas. So really our only guy over 10K today is Giannis, 11-5, going up against the Bulls. He's listed as questionable on DraftKings, but he's expected to play today. Giannis is really the only guy we have to consider like jamming in, at least when it comes to stud options. Once it gets under Giannis, it's like a 2K discount. OLADIPO is your next most expensive guy. So talking about him at point guard, this is definitely a good spot for OLADIPO. I know it says 9th OPR rank, but that's because Avery Bradley is one of the reasons that Detroit has been so good defensively against the shooting guard, the point guard, just in general. Obviously, with Avery Bradley out, this is a much better matchup for OLADIPO. Definitely like him in some tournaments. I think there are other guys that I'd probably rather pay up for in that 9K range. Probably just go up to Giannis. But OLADIPO in tournaments, this guy has upside. With the Avery Bradley out, much better matchup for OLADIPO. I feel like people might shy away when they see that 9th rank. They might get scared away from that rank right there. But with Avery Bradley out, much better matchup for OLADIPO, like I said. I think he is a guy we can pay up for in tournaments. Tyreke Evans, in my opinion, feels too expensive today at 8,600 going up against Phoenix. Obviously a great matchup. We know the Suns are a bad defensive team. They play at a very fast pace. I think I'm going to be shying away from Tyreke, though. I think if I'm paying up at point guard, probably just go up to the top to Victor Oladipo. You got Kyle Lowry as well, right in that price range as Evans. He's 8,200 going up against Dallas. But like I said, I think if I'm going to pay up at this position, I'd just go up to Oladipo. He's my favorite option up top here. We do have options like in the 7K, 6K range. If we want to save some money, we don't want to pay up for point guard. You got Lou Williams here at 7,600, who I think is a good option in this mid-tier. Even with Austin Rivers returning, Lou Will's still been putting up numbers, still been producing. I know in that game against Houston, had a very nice game. Him and Rivers both did. Lou Will put up 54 DraftKings points in that game. Next game after that against Memphis, 44 DraftKings points. Just pretty much Lou Will, Rivers, DeAndre Jordan, they're going to be running that Clippers offense with no Blake Griffin. So I think Lou Will is a guy we can definitely consider at 7,600 in this mid-tier. I think I prefer him over Bledsoe, over Donovan Mitchell, even over Chris Dunn in a tough matchup against Milwaukee. I know Dunn's had some really nice games lately, but this is a tough matchup. Milwaukee's really good defensively against the point guard. So I think my favorite option in that 7K range is Lou Will at 7,600. And then looking in this 6K range, Goran Dragic is definitely in an interesting spot here, going up against the Magic. The Heat are very injury depleted right now. A lot of their guys are injured. So guys like Dragic, Josh Richardson, Kelly Olynyk, these guys are really going to have to step up offensively and score the ball a ton, especially if the Heat want to win any games. Both of these teams are pretty injury depleted right now, so this could definitely be a game where you find some value. I think Dragic in the mid-tier makes sense today. He's 6,600, which seems expensive, but this is a great matchup. A lot of guys for the Heat are out. Dragic is going to be relied on a ton, and he did come in his first game back from injury, did play 30 minutes, so I'd imagine Dragic isn't going to have much of a minutes restriction here. I think he's a good option in that mid-tier. Him, Payton, and Rivers are all the same price tag. I think if I had to choose one, I'd probably go with Dragic. I think if I'm getting exposure to the Clippers, I'd go up 1K, get up to Lou Will over Rivers. Since Rivers is 6,600, I think I prefer just to find 1K and get up to Lou Williams. So in that mid-tier, that 6K range, definitely like Goran Dragic and a great matchup against the Magic. And then other options that we can go to in this mid-tier if we're looking to go here, I think Reggie Jackson's definitely in play today at 5,500 going up against Indiana. I would say we want to consider Reggie Jackson for more in tournaments because if you just look in the minutes have not been there lately. I know Ish Smith has been getting some minutes. Jackson's only played 24, 26, 21, and 28 minutes in his last 4 games. Jackson's never a guy that plays like 30 minutes a night. He's never a heavy minute guy. But it seems like he has been losing some minutes to Ish Smith. Definitely concerning. But Jackson's pretty cheap today. You don't need much from tournament value. To get 6x on this price, I would say you need about 32, 33 DraftKings points. Reggie Jackson can definitely do that in a solid matchup against the Pacers. So I like him as a tournament play in that 5K range. 5,500, I think he makes a ton of sense. And if we're just trying to find value at point guard, we want to go cheap here. I think we can go to MILOS TEODOSIC as a cheap option at 4,600, going up against the Kings. Obviously a great matchup. Kings are not a good defensive team. They do play at a slow pace, but they are definitely a team we want to attack. I think we can get on a lot of Clippers here. We can get on DeAndre, Lou Will, Rivers, even Milos. He's pretty cheap today at 4,600. I'd say you want about 25 DraftKings points from him if you're playing him in cash games. I think he's more of a cash game option because he can definitely get you 25 in this spot and return value. So if you are looking to go cheap at point guard, he's probably my favorite value option, sub 5K, 4,600. I think he makes the most sense if you're looking to go cheap at this position. That's what I'm seeing at point guard today, guys. At least quickly looking at this position. You could go to a guy like Andrew Harrison at 4,100. He's obviously in a great spot against Phoenix. He's pretty cheap as well. And in his last 2 games, he's been getting heavy minutes, 34, 32 minutes, 18, 29 DraftKings points. As long as Mike Conley remains out, Harrison's going to see some minutes, so he could be an option at 4,100. I think I prefer just to find the extra salary to get up to TEODOSIC. But if you do need to go this cheap, Andrew Harrison at 4,100 could be a play. But let's go ahead and look at shooting guards. Look at options we want to target here. Obviously, OLADIPO's up top here. If you want to play him, DeMar DeRozan, don't think I'm going to be on him today at 8,800. I think OLADIPO is probably my favorite point guard, shooting guard. If you're paying up at either one of those positions, I'd go up to OLADIPO. Obviously, I said Tyreke Evans feels like a little bit too expensive for me today. Don't know if I want to pay 8,400 for Chris Middleton, especially with Giannis expected to come back for this game. I think I'll shy away from him. So looking for other mid-tier options. You got Lou Williams there at 7,600, like I said. Jonathan Simmons is definitely interesting today at 7,100. He seems way too expensive, but with no Nikola Vucevic, Simmons is going to be one of the guys that the Magic really rely on for scoring. We could go to Elfrid Payton here, but this is definitely a tough matchup for Payton. I didn't talk about him at point guard because it's kind of a tough matchup. Miami's really good defensively against the point guard. I think if we do want to get exposure to the Magic, we can go to Jonathan Simmons at 7,100. He's shown this year that when Vooch is out, when Aaron Gordon's out, this guy can really put up some big numbers. So I think he's a good option, that mid-tier, 7,100 if we want to go to him. And then if we're looking to go a little bit cheaper at this position, maybe try and save some money here. I think Justin Holiday could be sort of a cash game play at 5,200. If you're looking to go cheap at shooting guard or small forward, he's eligible at both of those positions. He's really cheap today at 5,200. You only need like 27, close to that, about 26, 27 DK points from him to return value on this price. He's been living right in that range lately. 35, 22, 26, 24 DraftKings points his last 4 games. We know the minutes are going to be there for Holiday, especially if it is a competitive game. Obviously, this game does have blow-up potential, but if it does stay close, Holiday's going to play a ton of minutes. He should be able to return value on this price. He did put up 27 DraftKings points when these teams played earlier this year, he played 38 minutes, 27 DK points. So if you are looking for sort of a cheaper play at shooting guard, I think you can go to Justin Holiday at 5,200. Also like Mario Hezonja for 200 less, going up against the Heat. Like I said, the Magic, they're just injury depleted. They don't have a ton of healthy guys. Vucevic is out. Aaron Gordon is going to be out. So Hezonja is one of those guys that's really going to have to step up. And Hezonja has shown upside this year, especially when he's gotten into the starting lineup for Aaron Gordon. And with no Gordon, no Vooch, I would imagine Hezonja is going to be starting here. He should see some heavy minutes. He could be an option we go to if we're looking to save at shooting guard. I think he makes a ton of sense at 5K today. And then looking sub 5K for value at shooting guard, at least plays that I haven't already mentioned. I don't see a lot of cheap options here that I'm really looking to target sub 5K. I think the value play you want to go to here is Hezonja. If you're looking to save at shooting guard, I think he makes the most sense at 5K. And you got Justin Holiday as well at 5,200. I think those are 2 cheap options you could go to. But moving on to small forward, looking at this position, you've got Giannis up top here, really the only stud, and really the only guy over 10K on the slate. Going up against the Bulls, obviously a great matchup. Nobody on that roster can really stop Giannis. He should totally dominate in this game. He is pretty expensive. Right now I'm not seeing a ton of value, like cheap value at least looking the night before. Maybe value will open up and we can fit in Giannis. Right now I don't think he's a guy I'm trying to force in today because he's pretty expensive. You need almost 60, if not more than that, for him to really return value on this price. There are some good 9K options, 8K options we can target. But obviously Giannis is in play when he's really the only stud on the slate. and it's against the Bulls, we can definitely pay up for Giannis if enough value opens up. But looking for other small forward options we can go to, you got Jonathan Simmons in this mid tier. I talked about him earlier. T.J. Warren. I think I'm going to be shying away from T.J. Warren today. It looks like Devin Booker's going to come back. That obviously hurts T.J. Warren. He still seems a little bit too cheap at $6,900, but with Devin Booker coming back, I think I'll shy away there. Josh Richardson, I feel like he's going to play a ton of minutes, going to be relied on a ton today, but he seems way too expensive at $6,800. Don't know if I want to pay nearly $7K for Josh Richardson. Even though Waiter's going to be out, James Johnson's going to be out, Winslow's going to be out, still don't know if I want to go to Richardson at his really high price tag. So maybe looking for other mid-tier options that we can go to. Obviously, if Kawhi Leonard isn't going to be on a minutes restriction, he's one of the best plays on this slate at $6,100 going up against Brooklyn, but I'm going to imagine Kawhi's only going to play about 20-25 minutes. I don't know if we want to go to him, even though it's against Brooklyn. You're really taking a risk rostering him at $6,100 when he's only going to play like 20-25 minutes. Obviously, if we get news that Kawhi's going to play close to 30 minutes, he's probably a lock at this price tag. But I would say that's very unlikely, so I doubt we're going to be able to go to Kawhi today in this mid-tier. I think if we are looking to save at this position, do have some options that we can go to here. Denzel Valentine was really struggling to begin the year, or just as of late, but he's had some solid games lately. Just in his last three, he's had 2 solid games, 40 DraftKings points against Orlando, 35 against Cleveland. Denzel Valentine will play a ton of minutes if he's playing well. He was playing well against Cleveland and played 36 minutes in that game. Only played 29 minutes against Orlando, but did put up 40 DraftKings points in only 29 minutes. So I don't mind going to Denzel Valentine if you are looking for a cheap option. I'd say he's more of a tournament play because he's definitely got risk of you're definitely rostering him. You're carrying risk if you roster him, but he's got upside. He can return 6-7x on this price. Don't mind Denzel Valentine as a cheap option as small forward. I think he makes a ton of sense here. I think if you're looking for more of a cash play to save at small forward, definitely consider Trey Lyles at $4,500 going up against the Jazz. Tough matchup. Jazz are a solid defensive team, but Trey Lyles been playing really well lately, been very consistent. The minutes have pretty much been pretty consistent. 25, 24, 33, 29 minutes his last 4 games, 29, 18, 25, and 26 DraftKings points. So he's hit value in 3 of his last 4 games. I think we can definitely go to Trey Lyles. If we're looking to save at this position in cash games, I think he's a consistent play that you can go to at $4,500. That's what I'm seeing at small forward, at least options that really catch my eye. I think we can go to Wayne Ellington as a cheap option. Since the Heat are so injury depleted, guys are going to have to play minutes. So Wayne Ellington's probably going to see close to 25 minutes, if not more than that. In his last 4 games, he's been playing a ton of minutes, 33, 32, 39, and 35 minutes. He does have upside. When he's making his shots, he'll put up big games like he did against Dallas, 35 DraftKings points. But as you can see, if he's not making his shots, not really going to do much. Only 16 DK points against Atlanta, only 18 against Boston, only 19 against New Orleans. But he is very, very cheap at $3,900. This is going to be a fast-paced game. The Heat are going to be playing up in pace, going up against the Magic. Don't mind Wayne Ellington as a cheap option as small forward. Think he makes sense just because the Heat are so injury depleted. We are going to want to target some of their guys because their guys are going to have to play a lot of minutes. Think we can go to Wayne Ellington, $3,900 as well if we're looking to save here. But moving on to power forward, looking at this position, you obviously have Giannis up here. Like I said earlier, he's a great play if you can fit him in, if you can find the salary. Don't think I'm going to be looking to pay up for this position unless I'm playing Giannis here. Doubt I'm going to be on LMA at $8,500, especially with Kawhi expected to play for this game. So looking for other options at power forward, I think we can definitely go to NIKOLA MIROTIC at $6,500 against the Bucks. He's played very well against the Bucks this year, had a very nice game against them earlier this year where he put up 38 DraftKings points in only 29 minutes, 22 points, and 8 rebounds. Like I said, MIROTIC is more of a tournament play, definitely not a guy we're considering in cash games, especially at this price. He doesn't play a ton of minutes now that Markkanen's in the starting lineup. MIROTIC isn't going to play a ton of minutes, but if he's making his shots, he provides a ton of upside for tournaments. We saw that against Philly, 47 DK points, against Orlando, 33 DK points. So if you're looking for a GPP option, I think you can go to NIKOLA MIROTIC, $6,500 going up against the Bucks. I doubt I'm going to be on Paul Gasol, even though he's on a little bit of a heater. This is a great matchup against Brooklyn. Don't know if I want to go to Gasol here, but like I said, he's been playing well. 30, 52, 47 DK points his last 3 games. Had a triple-double his last game against Sacramento. 22, 33, 31 minutes. But with Kawhi active, with LMA active, just don't think we need to go there at $6,400. I think you have a much better option for $300 less. And Kelly OLYNYK at $6,100. Definitely think OLYNYK's a cash game play. If you're looking for a mid-tier play in cash at power forward, I think he makes a ton of sense. With no James Johnson, no Waiters, no Winslow as well, Kelly Olynyk should be looking at some heavy minutes here. We don't have any news on Hassan Whiteside. I believe he's questionable. Not sure if he's expected to return. Obviously, if Whiteside comes back, that's going to definitely take, or Olynyk's definitely going to take a hit. We're probably not going to want to be on him if Whiteside comes back. But if Whiteside remains out, Kelly Olynyk, great option at 6,100. You are looking at a mid-tier play. I think he makes a ton of sense in this mid-tier power forward. I think if Whiteside winds up playing, and if we need another cash game option, we can go to SERGE BAKA for 300 less than Olynyk. BAKA's another guy that's just been really consistent, just been hitting value lately. 33, 37, 27, 25 DraftKings points his last 4 games. Great matchup against Dallas. They do play at a slow pace, but they're a very bad rebounding team. They really struggle to defend bigs. This is a great spot for a BAKA. I would prefer Olynyk for 300 more if Whiteside is out. But if Whiteside does play today, I think a BAKA makes a ton of sense. Just go down from Olynyk, 300 less. Go to him at 5,800. He's a really good option against Dallas today, in my opinion. And if we're looking for some value at power forward, we want to try and save some money here at this position. I think there are 2 value plays we can go to. There's sub 5K at power forward. The first one is Bam Adebayo at 4,100 going up against the Magic. As long as Whiteside does not come back today, Adebayo is going to continue to see minutes. Just in his last 4 games, 30, 20, 38, and 30 minutes, 31, 11, 33, and 25 DraftKings points. As long as Whiteside remains out, definitely go to Adebayo as a value option. I think he makes a ton of sense at 4,100. Olynyk is going to remain in the starting lineup as long as Whiteside is out, but Adebayo is going to see minutes off the bench. Plenty of minutes to where he can return value on this price. So I like him as a cheap option at 4,100. And the last cheap option I want to mention is BISMACK BIYOMBO at 3,800, going up against the Heat in that same game. NIKOLA Vucevic been ruled out for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm going to imagine that BISMACK BIYOMBO is going to move into the starting lineup and replace Vucevic as the starting center for the Magic. And whenever BIYOMBO gets minutes, he can definitely produce for you. He can grab rebounds, he can score, he can get you a double-double. And with Vucevic out, like I said, BISMAC's going to get the minutes that Vuce got. I doubt he's going to play the heavy minutes that Vuce did, but he'll probably play 25, 30 minutes a night with Vucevic out. I think BISMACK BIYOMBO, great value option at 3,800. Definitely going to want to hop on him while he's this cheap. I would imagine his price is going to continue to rise just as the day goes on. So if you're looking for 2 cheap options at power forward or center, Bam Adebayo, BISMACK BIYOMBO, I think both of those guys make a ton of sense at this position. But that's what I'm seeing at power forward, guys. Moving on to center, looking at this position, looking at options we want to go to here. Definitely a position I think we can pay up for. Really good options up top here. Andre Drummond, probably one of my favorite tournament plays on this slate today at 9,300 going up against the Pacers. Love this spot for Andre Drummond. The Pacers are so bad defensively against the center, one of the worst defensive teams against the center. They allow a ton of fantasy points to center. Drummond's played very well against this team, averaging 47 DK points through 3 games. So he's played well against the Pacers, done well against Miles Turner, and we know the kind of upside that Drummond has. He's shown potential to rack up assists this year, which has given him triple-double upside. The assists haven't been there lately, but we saw earlier this year he was getting close to 10 assists, was nearly getting close to triple-doubles. I think Drummond definitely gets a triple-double at least once this year, and you never know, it could come today. So he's a great option at center if you're paying up here. You definitely could go to Marc Gasol for 600 less, but I think I would prefer Andre Drummond, but Gasol's in a great spot against the Suns. Obviously, he's a good option, but like I said, I think Drummond's my favorite option up top here if we're paying up at center. You do have DeAndre Jordan for 1K less than Drummond, and he's in a great spot against the Kings. The Kings really struggle to defend bigs. DeAndre Jordan's price tag, though, is really starting to rise. He's now up to 8,300. Obviously, the production's been there lately. That's one of the reasons the price tag has started to rise. But it's going to be hard for him to pay off this price tag. You need at least 40 DraftKings points from him. Obviously, DJ can get there, but I think I prefer just to get up to Drummond. Or if you need to save a little bit off of Jordan, you want to go to this price range, you can't fit in Drummond or Gasol. I think you can go to Nikola Jokic for 400 less than DJ. Not the best matchup for Jokic. Obviously, Utah's going to be without Rudy Gobert, so a little bit of a better matchup, but they're still solid defensively against the center. And Jokic is back to playing his full minutes, so he is definitely a guy we're going to want to consider, especially at 7,900. This does seem way too cheap for Jokic now that he's playing full minutes. And we know the kind of upside that Jokic has. I think he's a good option at 7,900. I prefer him over DJ. Just think DJ's a little bit too expensive. I'd much rather have Jokic for 400 less if you're looking in that price range. And then obviously in this mid-tier, you got options here like Kelly Olynyk, who I talked about, SERGE BAKA, who I mentioned as well. if we are looking for some value plays at center and we're trying to save at this position, really the only value plays I'm seeing here that I'm absolutely in love with are the guys that I mentioned earlier. Bam Adebayo, BISMACK BIYOMBO, I think are two value plays you can go to at center. That's really what I'm seeing at center today, guys. That's what I'm seeing for this position. I think that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Be sure to subscribe as well if you haven't already. And if you guys need to ask me any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. Just give me a follow there, DM me. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. If you don't have a Twitter, feel free to leave a comment on this video, and I'll also try and get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, she shaking fast. Yeah, she dropping slow. What? Yeah, neck on fro. Whoa, 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 whoa.